What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of On the Card presented by TRHS Sports. We're up to episode 12 now, and it is Tuesday, August 18th. We had probably one of the most frustrating days of sports I've watched in a long time yesterday. It was just frustrating all around. Even when we won, it felt like a pain. Even when we lost, it felt like a pain. Let's just run through what ended up happening yesterday. White Sox winner was an easy one. The over goes under by 0.5. The Yankees Red Sox over goes under by a run. The Yankees had the bases loaded in the first inning, don't score a single run. Nuggets minus 4.5. It takes overtime for that to happen. Now, I'm going to say this, as this keeps moving forward, the Nuggets and the Jazz series, I'm probably going to keep hammering the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets played their worst game that they're going to play in this entire series. I think they played horrible basketball. They were trying to lose the game, and they still ended up finding a way to win. Jamal Murray went absolutely crazy at the end. Donovan Mitchell had 57 for the Jazz. I don't like Donovan Mitchell to put up 57 again in this series. I think that the Nuggets are going to run away with it now. We might see a 4-1 or something like that, but I'll take my chances. I'll bet on the Nuggets spread 3 times now in a row. And I think that they'll win it at least twice, which means we're walking out with money. So I'm feeling good about the Nuggets right now. I feel like they had their worst. They got punched in the mouth, and they kept going through. Jaylen Brown over 18.5. That one was never in doubt. Celtics minus 5.5, third quarter. I don't know what they were doing. They were able to pull away in the fourth. Thankfully, that was brutal. Nets under 106.5. This game was an absolute nightmare. It ultimately resulted in a loss. It was so frustrating because the Raptors were killing them by so bad in the first half that, of course, the Nets were going to score points. The Raptors just weren't playing that type of defense. They still only go over by 3.5 points. Even though I think they had 36 in the third quarter or something like that, the Raptors just stopped playing defense. They were winning by 30 plus points in the second quarter. That's absolutely absurd. The Nets were as bad as I thought the Nets were. I wasn't sure if the Raptors were going to cover. They cover easily. I should have just went with the Raptors spread here, but this game goes under normally. I mean, the Nets should have gone under. It's very frustrating that it didn't end up working out that way just because they were losing by so much so early that it just ended up bad. MPJ over 17.5. We're off the MPJ train. Michael Porter Jr. is done. He's not going to be playing much in this series. Can't play defense. If you can't play defense and you have somebody like Donovan Mitchell on the other side, they're going to try to use you, and that's it. So we're not going with Michael Porter Jr. here. We're done with him. He didn't play down the home stretch when things are important. Vancouver ends up losing in hockey. They just didn't look good yesterday. Went 0 of 7 on the power play. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's just a frustrating day. 0 of 7 on the power play. Michael Porter Jr. not playing in the fourth quarter. The Nets scoring 36 in the third quarter. Just a frustrating day. And speaking of frustrating, Colorado and Arizona, we took the under of 5.5. And just like I've been saying this entire series, it finally turns out the way that this whole series should have gone, which is Colorado destroying the much worse Arizona team. They win 7-1. Now, the entire time I've been saying Colorado minus 1.5, Arizona under 2 goals, Colorado minus 1.5, Arizona under 2 goals. The one time I don't bet it and just assume Darcy Kemper will actually have competence, I turn that game on with 5 minutes left in the first period, and Colorado proceeds to score 3 goals to make it 3-0 just like that. Arizona's a joke. Colorado's going to win it in the next game. This series will be over. Thankfully, we can get Arizona out of the bubble. They have no business being there. They're a really bad hockey team. On to today, though. Look, we still went 3-2 in basketball yesterday. If you're only following my basketball bets, congrats. If you're following everything else, we're going to get back on track. We're just going to take it a little slow here. Emmett from Boston says, "Yo, Phil, what's up?" Not much. If you have any questions, Emmett, if you want to read on a game, let me know. I'm all about going through whatever games you want to hear. I only have, what do I have? I have 7 bets today. 4 of them are in the NBA because the NBA is where I tend to do a little bit better, at least right now. I'm on a cold streak in the NHL. I was up to 11-8 in my last 5. I've only won 2 of them. So it has been a bit of a grind here. That's for sure. So all of that being said, we're going to see what we can do today. We're going to make something work. We're going to start off with my only MLB bet, and I want to just talk through the MLB real quick. I was looking at a lot of different bets here. There were a couple that I was looking at that I was like, maybe that would be the best one. Tampa Bay, New York Yankees under 4.5 for the first 5 innings. That could be a good bet. You got Blake Snell versus Masahiro Tanaka. The first time these two faced off this season, it was a 1-0 final score. However, when it's like in division rivals, especially in the AL East, I feel like teams always seem to find a way to start hitting the opponents. So I'm going to stay away from this one. Although if I was going to make a play on this game, it would be that first 5 under. I was looking at the Phillies versus the Red Sox. I was kind of liking the Phillies number. However, it keeps going up. It's all the way up to minus 124 now. It was down at minus 114 yesterday. So I don't like that it keeps moving. Zach Godley versus Zach Eflin. I don't trust either one of those pitchers. So I've decided to stay away from that one, but I'm going to go back to the Tigers and the White Sox, which is a game that we missed by half a run yesterday, even though the White Sox did end up winning. So at least we had that going for us. We have Dylan Cease on the mound for the White Sox and Tariq Skubal on the mound for the Tigers. I like this first 5 over 4.5. This is going to be my only MLB bet of the day. Tariq Skubal's getting his first major league start. I can't imagine he's very good if he's pitching for the Tigers. And I know that people are excited in Detroit because it's their future and whatever, but it's going to be his first game. A lot of pitchers who have come in for their first game during this but during this no fans era have really struggled. He's going up against Dylan Cease, who the Tigers absolutely decimated in their last game. That was a game that we had the over on. And the whole game went over in the second inning. It was Matthew Boyd versus Dylan Cease, which was a joke. It was hilarious. I like both teams to get their hits and get their runs in this game, and I especially like them to do it early against the starters. So I'm going to go with the White Sox and the Tigers first 5 over 4.5. That's my only bet for the MLB. I'm going to go over to NHL because, as Emmett from Boston says, what about the Heat and Pacers? We'll get there in just a second. I'm sorry. We're going to go to the NBA. I don't know why I said NHL. NHL was just in my face. No, we're going to the NBA. That's where I want to go. For some reason, I'm on DraftKings, and the NBA is not showing up, and it's annoying. Where is the NBA? Okay, anyway, we're going to go to the NHL while I try to figure out why the NBA isn't showing up on my website here for DraftKings, which is always fun. Okay, interesting. Here we go. It's back. All right. NBA, first game, Bucks Magic. The one thing I do know about the NBA right now is the better team is always going to win. Every game, the better team is going to win. The Clippers versus the Mavericks. The Clippers ended up winning even though they fell apart in the second quarter. The Celtics, they ended up winning even though they fell apart in the third quarter. The Nuggets, they won the game even though they fell apart in the third quarter. The better team always wins. That's what happens in the NBA. In these 7-game series, the better team always wins. It's so hard for the worst team to beat a better NBA team over the course of a 7-game series. We're looking at the Bucks and we're looking at the Magic. I told you to take the under here in 4.5 games for the series because it was better odds than just the Bucks winning, which is hilarious to me. But the Bucks probably are going to kill Orlando. They're probably going to kill Orlando. 12.5 is just too big of a number. I want to see how a game goes. It's kind of how I felt with the Raptors yesterday. I would have gotten a win if I would have just, sucked it up and taken the bet. But I want to see a game first. I want to see this play out. 12.5 is just a lot of points, and it scares me away. The second game is a lot more interesting, and this is the Heat and Pacers. Everybody's all over the Heat. The Heat are heavily favored in this. They're heavily favored. I put the Pacers series line on the card because I felt like that was a good line. Like plus 250, it's just getting out of hand in terms of how much of dogs they are. This is a team that's going to win a game or two in this series. The Pacers are going to win a game or two. TJ Warren is dealing with plantar fasciitis. I've seen kids, as a cross-country runner, I've seen kids run 5Ks with plantar fasciitis. Did they look good doing it? No, but I've seen kids run really fast with that. Granted, he's going to be jumping, doing all that stuff. I think he's fine, though. I think he's going to be fine in this game. He says he thinks he's going to be fine. He's ready to go. I think it's playoff basketball. He'll find a way to push through the pain, the discomfort, whatever he's got to get through. And I like them to keep this close. Do I think the Heat are the deeper team overall? Yeah, I do. But this line just keeps moving in favor of the Heat, and I'm just so worried about that. It was at -4. It's now at -4.5. I'm going to take the Pacers. I'm going to keep going with what my gut is telling me, and my gut is telling me the Pacers can stick with this Heat team. And in what I expect to be a kind of low-scoring game, give me the points. Because a 2-possession game in a game that could be like a 105-101 final, I'll take that. I like the Pacers to win a game or two. So I like the Pacers to get it done here. I really do. I like them to keep this one close. I always go by this. If I think a team can win the game and they're underdogs, I always take the points. And it's not just, they could win today. No, I'm talking like if I really believe a team could win on that day, like really believe it. I'm not saying, the Lions could beat the Packers. No, I'm saying like if Matthew Stafford plays this game as well as he does, he's going to beat the Packers. That's how I feel about this game. I feel like the Pacers, if they play to their potential, could beat the Heat. They really could, especially in game one, kind of catch them by surprise, throw off Vegas a little bit. The number is just too big right now. I'm going with the Pacers plus 4.5. I like them to at least keep this one close. And hey, I might be eating my words tomorrow, but I like them to keep it close and pull away later here. So that one's going on the card, Pacers plus 4.5. Next game, OKC versus Houston. This is the hardest series right now. Without a doubt, this is by far the hardest series. It's so difficult to predict what's going to happen here. OKC is favored by 1.5. Russ is out. Eric Gordon is in. I like OKC in this first game. I'm putting OKC minus 1.5 on the card. And the reason is they need to win this one. If they don't win game one, they don't have a chance in this series, I don't think, once Russ comes back. If they can't find a way to win without Russ on the court. So I like OKC to get the job done against a shorthanded Rockets team. I think OKC arguably is the better team out of the two teams. So let me go with the team that's a little bit better against a team that's missing their best player, favored by barely anything. I'll take the 1.5 points. It's not much. It's essentially a pick 'em. And I'm going to take OKC. If you followed me over on my website, I had put OKC and Houston over on my website. I'm not going to put it here because there's another bet I like here instead, and I don't want to do 3 on the same game. I got Steven Adams over 10.5 rebounds. There's nobody to rebound the ball for the Houston Rockets. And I think Steven Adams, he could have one of those plays where he throws up a layup, misses, grabs his own board, throws up a layup, misses, and grabs his own board. And now he's got 2 boards and he needs 9 more. I think Steven Adams is going to clean up on the boards in this game. I think he's going to have a really, really big game from a rebounding perspective. So I have him at over 10.5, and it's just at minus 110. So it's right at the even money line, the normal juice. So I like that. Final game of the day for the NBA, Lakers, Blazers. This number keeps moving. I have it at minus 6 right now. Who knows if it's going to be at minus 6.5 soon. It was at minus 5.5 yesterday. That's when I got in. I hope you were following me on my website over on betonphilwood.com because you would have gotten in at minus 5.5 and you'd be feeling really good right now. The Blazers can't play with the Lakers. All the early money was coming in on the Blazers, and now all the late money is coming in on the Lakers. And that's obviously what should be happening. The Lakers are so much better than the Portland Trail Blazers. I understand that Dame looks incredible, and I understand that they won and got in. They have 133 points to the Nets in their playoff clinching win. They almost lost. Karis LeVert had the ball in his hands with an open look at the end of the game, and he missed it. If he makes that, the Blazers aren't even here. The Blazers have not looked good. And look, this is coming from the guy who told you to bet plus 400 for the Blazers to be the 8 seed. This is coming from the guy who told you to bet plus 120 for the Blazers to get over 3.5 wins in the seeding games. I am telling you, I was not surprised by the Blazers getting in as the 8 seed. So to me, what Dame was able to do and what Nurk and CJ McCollum and Zach Collins and Carmelo Anthony were able to do was not shocking to me. This line is based entirely in shock. The series line is based in shock. Everybody's so obsessed with, look how good the Blazers were. Wow, what an impressive run. If you watch the games as somebody who thought the Blazers were competent, as somebody who thought the Blazers could somehow be as competitive as they were last year in the NBA playoffs, you will know the Blazers actually looked terrible. They looked terrible in a lot of these games. They lose to the Clippers backups. They didn't look good against the Brooklyn Nets when they actually won it. They let Memphis come back. They don't play defense, and that's going to be a huge problem because if they stop hitting shots, which is very likely against a really good Lakers defense, if they stop hitting shots, they have no chance in this game. They're just going to get blown off the floor. I have the Lakers minus 6, and I'm putting it on the card. I think the Lakers at minus 6 is the best bet you could go with in this game. Fade the public right now. The public is all over the Blazers because the Lakers looked really bad in the bubble games and the Blazers won a bunch of games against a bunch of bad teams. Fade the public right now. Fade them. Fade them, fade them, fade them. That's all I'm saying. So there you go. All right. We're going over to the NHL. Look, I know I've been struggling with the NHL. The last couple of days have not been good days. It's been really, really frustrating. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about these games individually, and then I'm going to explain why I've had the bets I have. That Colorado game was absolutely infuriating. It pissed me off a lot. But Flyers, Canadians. Flyers favored here. I'm going to go with the under here of 5.5 goals. These teams look terrible offensively. If you watch the last game, neither one of the teams were trying to score. The goalies made saves, but the goalies didn't really need to make real saves. They were just kind of standing there. The Flyers got sloppy at the end. The Canadians got sloppy in the end, and nobody was able to capitalize. They were moving around like zombies. They looked like they were in game 7 or in the 5th overtime of a game. Like, they just looked exhausted. There was nothing going on there. I don't think that they're going to get really good scoring chances in this game. It's under 5.5. I like that, even if it ends 3-2, which I think would be a high scoring game between these two teams. I know that one game was 5-0. The last one was 1-0. I like this to go under. I think you have to go to FanDuel to get this under 5.5. I don't think DraftKings has it on there yet. It's a little bit of a price, but I think it's worth taking this under. Neither team looks competent offensively. And look, I said that about Colorado and Arizona yesterday, and Colorado put up 7. I don't think either of these teams have the ability to put up 7 against Carter Hart or Carey Price. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I don't really know what side I would take here. I would take the Flyers. I think the Flyers are the better team. I think the Canadians, I think we've kind of seen it with a lot of these underdogs from the first round. They start to fall apart now as the series is going on. They're getting a little exhausted. We saw Arizona fall apart yesterday. I know the Blackhawks ended up winning game 4, but they were already down 3-0. I think the Blue Jackets are pretty much done against the Lightning. I think we're starting to see these teams fall off. So I like the Flyers to get it done here, but I'm not going to put that one on the card. That's just the lean I would give if I was forced to give one. Calgary Flames, Dallas Stars. I cannot figure out this series for the life of me. I have no idea what's going on in this series. It's an absolute disaster. One game will be 2-0 and the next game will be 5-4. And they just keep going back and forth. So what's the point of even betting on it? I think the Stars, like I just said with the Flyers, should be able to start pulling away now, as I think the Flames will start to fall off. But still, I'm staying away from this game. This game is an absolute mess. This whole series has been an absolute mess. I don't like it. Next game, Capitals, Islanders. The Islanders can wrap it up and make it so that we only have 15 teams to talk about moving forward in the NHL. Islanders are favored -120. Capitals are +102. I kind of like the Capitals here. I don't think that the Capitals are going to get swept by the Islanders. I think the Islanders are a much, much better team, but I think the Capitals have too much talent to get swept by the Islanders. However, I'm not going to go with the full game just in case they start to die off. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take the Capitals period 1. It's at about -104 right now. So a little mini dog. But I'm going to take the Capitals period 1 because they're down 3-0 in the series. They have so much talent. They're going to come out firing. They got to get a lead here. They can't fall behind. If they fall behind, the series is over. So I like them to come out and play really, really strong offensively early on, get a lead against the Islanders team, and win at least period 1. It's one of those bets where if they win period 1 or tie period, if they win period 1, you win. If they tie period 1, nothing happens. You just push. So I like the odds here at -104. I think it's pretty fair. And especially going against an Islanders team that might be taking a little bit for granted right now. The Capitals have too much talent to not score goals in this first period, being down 3-0. I think that it's for pride at this point. Don't get swept. I think they come out and I think they get this job done. Final game of the night is Blackhawks and Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, man, that last Blackhawks game was brutal. The Knights looked like they were playing their best game of hockey, and yet they could not put the puck in the back of the net. It was so frustrating if you were on the Vegas Golden Knights. They should have won that game. Corey Crawford stood on his head. They keep going for his glove side, and Corey Crawford has figured out that he can use his glove to save it. If you know where it's going, it's kind of like Jose Altuve, if you will. If you know where the ball is going to be, it's a lot easier to be great. If you don't know where the ball is going to be, you suck. You're a 2-time batting champion, and then all of a sudden people aren't cheating for you, and you suck. Well, essentially what's happening right now with Corey Crawford is people are cheating for Corey Crawford. The Knights are telling him, hey, we're going to go glove side every single time, and he's saving it. He's getting used to it. He's able to predict where it's going to be, and it's worked out in his favor. Could the Knights absolutely do what the Avalanche did to the Coyotes yesterday? Yeah, they really could. And this series, I expect this series to end tonight. -200, though, not worth taking the Knights. But yeah, I do think that the Knights are going to win this game. I just don't like any of the lines right now because the Blackhawks, because of what Corey Crawford's doing, I mean, he's had just too many good games in a row now, and especially that last one. That was absolutely infuriating. So I'm going to stay away from this one, and I'm not going to bet anything. So that means those are my 7 bets for the card today. I do want to throw one more thing out there. Anybody who's hating on Fernando Tatis right now for hitting a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch is a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser. I will just keep on saying that, and I don't think that's anybody here. But for anybody who's listening who has seen this ridiculous storyline that is going through, if you're a pitcher in Major League Baseball, throw a better pitch on 3-0. You want to throw one right down the middle to Fernando Tatis, even when you're losing 10-3. He deserves to hit a grand slam on you. Be a better player. Also, like all this like friendly BS that we talk about in baseball, the reason why people hate baseball is because of this friendly BS. Play baseball. Play baseball. If you want to hit a home run, hit a home run. If you want to win 21-4, win 21-4. Who cares? Anybody who's mad at Fernando Tatis for hitting a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch because his team was winning by a lot, who cares? The Rangers are a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of losers. Crybabies. Crybabies. And the media is a bunch of crybabies. Grow up. Grow up. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The man hit a grand slam. Look, I've been around long enough to know I used to watch SportsCenter in the morning and see teams that scored 10 runs in the ninth inning come back and win a game. Baseball games are ridiculous. They can get out of hand. Yes, the Padres are going to win that game anyway, but how mad would they have been if it's 11-10 and he didn't hit that grand slam because they gave up an 8-run ninth or something like that? It's stupid. It's stupid. Grow up, throw a better pitch. You're in the big leagues now, boys. Yeah, throw good pitches. It's not that hard. Not that difficult. Look, I watch people do it all the time. I'm a Yankee fan. I watch Garrett Cole throw good pitches. Throw better pitches. It's not hard. And Mike Minor's probably going to get shelled today. I actually had that one on my card. I was looking at it. We had San Diego versus Texas. I ended up going against it just in case Texas is a little angry about what happened to them yesterday. But I don't think they have the talent. No, they'd rather complain that the poor man, he hit a home run over me. Grow up. It's ridiculous. It's an absolute joke. And anybody who's actually writing that as a headline, you don't deserve to be a beat writer. That's pitiful. It's an absolute joke. Good for you, Fernando Tatis. Keep hitting home runs. Go find Trevor Bauer's tweet. It's hilarious. He's a pitcher, a really good pitcher. And he comes out and he's just like, throw a better pitch. This is crazy thing. Don't take blame for your own faults. No, blame it on, he should have been swinging at that. You shouldn't be throwing pipers on the freaking 3-0 count to a guy who's hit now 11 home runs. You want to do that? Good. Good. You deserve to have a grand slam hit off of you. Okay, that's the end of my rant. Anyway, so for the card today, here's what I got. I have the White Sox, Tigers, first 5 over 4.5 runs. OKC minus 1.5, Pacers plus 4.5, Lakers minus 6, Steven Adams over 10.5 rebounds, Philadelphia, Montreal under 5.5 goals, Capitals winning period 1. That's what I got for the card. If you have any questions for me, you want to know any other sides, any other bets, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me at Phil Wood Jr. on Twitter. People have been reaching out to me, and I'm pretty sure they've been winning money. So, even though this is just what's on the card, I do have reads on other games, maybe that I just haven't, publicly put because I'm not 100% confident, but you could still go out there and win some money because I'm more than 50 or 49% confident. But anyway, go check out betonphilwood.com. I've been putting out my best bets. The NHL, I had done a full playoff preview. We could start to see some of those predictions come to fruition today, which could be a lot of fun. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Otherwise, I will see everybody tomorrow morning on the card.